In this video, we will evaluate expressions with given values. First, let's define what an algebraic expression is. An algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase with variables and numbers. It does not have an equal sign. Notice that word phrase. That's going to be really important here. Substitution property. It sounds exactly like what it is. The substitution property is if we have two equal values, we can substitute or replace those values in for each other in expressions. All right, when we're evaluating expressions, we're going to substitute the variables with their given value. Each time you substitute, put parentheses around the number. It's not really necessary mathematically, but it will keep your work less confusing. So this is just a good rule of thumb. It's more of a convention than a rule. And of course, follow the order of operations to evaluate. So we're going to start some examples. I have this expression, ab squared plus c. This expression means we have a times b raised to the second power and then adding c to it. We're given values to substitute for each one of a, b, and c. So first, we're going to substitute those values in. A is equal to 2, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 7. Then we use order of operations to evaluate. We see the parentheses here, but these parentheses don't mean grouping. They mean multiplication. So we're going to deal with our exponents first and have 2 times 16, because 4 times itself is 16. 2 times 16 is 32, plus 7, which is 39. In the next example, we have 3x squared minus 4x. Notice we only have one variable in this expression, so we only have one variable to substitute for. So if we substitute that same value, -2, in every time we see the x, this is what it's going to look like. We'll have 3 parentheses around that -2 squared minus 4 parentheses -2. Once again, these parentheses are not grouping parentheses. These parentheses are multiplication parentheses. All right, so we don't really have grouping, so we have to move on to exponents. This -2 squared means -2 times -2. A negative times a negative is a positive. Same thing here. A negative times a negative is a positive. So we have 3 times 4, and we went ahead and multiplied this. So 12 plus 8 equals 20. All right, so we have some examples here. Notice that 3 and 4 are the same expression, but we have different values that we're plugging in. All right, so we're going to do number 3. A squared times b minus b squared. And we're substituting a equal to 3 and b equal to -4. So that's what this looks like. 3 is substituted in for a, and -4 is substituted in for b. So following order of operations, we do our exponents first. -4 squared is -4 times -4, which is a positive 16. 3 squared is 9. Now we have our multiplication, so we have -36 minus 16, which is a -52. Number 4 is an on-your-own problem. Because it's the same expression, I want you to try filling in different values. Same with 5 and 6. It's really the same expression, just different values that we're plugging in for x and y. So we're substituting in -4 and 2. Following order of operations, notice this one, we have a negative outside that parenthesis. So this is just 2 times itself, which is a positive 4, and then this negative outside makes that a -4. Notice how that's different from when we had the negative inside the parentheses. Notice here we're following that multiplication from left to right, so we have the -3 times a -4, which is a positive 12. Then finish off by multiplying times the 2, and the addition, which is 20. All right, I want you to do number 6 on your own. Number 7 is an on your own. Notice the division here when you follow the order of operations. Number 8, notice the grouping here that you have to complete first, and the 2 on the outside of the parentheses. And then number 9, notice the absolute value bars, and don't forget about that negative in front of this A.